Hi guys, so in my hand there is a glass mineral water bottle. It's a Perrier water bottle, green, elegant, fashionable, and beautiful. Categorized as the elite drinking, Perrier is described as the luxury of the mineral water industry, aiming at the most premium places in the market like the hotels, pubs, and restaurants that's known to all. So I'm not focusing on this brand though. I'm focusing on its material, the glass. Because the first time when I met this bottle, the glass water bottle, it ignited my thinking because my past education has taught me that it's harmful and difficult for plastic, the main material for mineral water bottle, to dispose. So I'm wondering if a water bottle made in glass can be an alternative for the mineral water or not. Now, the plastic nature to be difficult to decompose in the environment did raise a wave of opposition towards uh, the plastics. People claimed it's the protecting environment action. And so people began to search for its substitute. But glass has never been placed into the table of the discussion. So therefore, I'm wondering why it can't. Why can't the success of this commercial green fashionable champion-shaped glass water bottle not be copied? Why it remained as Paris pronoun only but not the whole environment act? Another ideal substitute of things introduced our environment. So I'm came towards this kind of thinking why glass can't be the substitute. And there must be some reasons that glass are terrible than plastics. Now we need to uh, be aware that glass can be recycled, they can be remade, but plastics can't. We need to also be aware that some people claim that plastics can be reused or avoid using plastics, but these actions still remain at the individual level. One of our readings by Michael Maniads claimed that individual action, which is individualization, was not an efficient way to prevent environmental damage, which means that apparently prevention of the environmental crisis should turn to a higher level, institutional level. Therefore, I'm wondering why can't any mineral water industry or company turn their materials into glass? And I'm wondering what's the limitations of the glass compared to the plastic? Sadly, there are many limitations. Let me cite one. First, people need to be aware that glass production involves sand. They involve sand, meaning that those cities close to the ocean or on the shoreline will be open to the threat about the ocean and erosion. The durability of glass is also fragile, which would make it not a good substitute for the plastic because we know the plastic is strong. The heavier weight the glass bottle may bring would also make the emission of carbon dioxide more massive as the transportation would be more of the transportation of the emission of the carbon dioxide will be higher and the transportation the energy required will be higher as well. So therefore we need to be aware that a change in the institutional level of water bottles material probably would maybe be a good option for individuals to comfort themselves that they are doing good to the environment as individuals despite the fact that the overall impact by changing the water from an institutional level would be worsened. Therefore, it seems inevitable for plastic's existence in the Anthropocene. While we are aware of this impact, I might wondering to ask myself the question, what would be the signal of our era, the Anthropocene? Plastics may serve as a new layer that's for sure a new world landscape, like what we were dug before, the sandstone, the other stones, etc. But we might have left invisible signal and evidence to the future if we use the glass. The great composition of carbon dioxide was becoming an example, and if we use glass to substitute plastics, there is going to be more of it. And so we did change the structure of the atmosphere. Then we might ask, what is the purpose of Anthropocene? If it is used to remind us that we are damaging our earth and maybe damaging ourselves, why should we create something which has a darker side, surfacely, than the brighter side? Like this glass, it can be a substitute, but it can be much more darker for the future. We might ask, is this process of finding a substitute can be only performed by those countries that may not be affected by this substitution result? I don't offend anyone, but I need to make this point clear. Are these obstacles or something that's more damaging to prevent the other to develop their own talents, to blame them that they are not doing enough to the environment? And therefore we might ask, if we can't find a substitute, or if we did find a substitute, how might this effect come to affect us as a whole, not solely country, individuals, and even institutions? We might ask how, when the Voyager reached out to these aliens, these extraterrestrial life, and when they arrived to our Earth, how might they define our Anthropocene? How might they define if this Earth is with something material or something else?